Will we bring that up after? We're live right now? Okay, good evening. This is the October 27th, 2025 Brentwood Municipal Budget Committee meeting. I notified Michelle that both Gabby and Alina notified me and have absences. I don't know about Dan, but maybe he'll show up since we're starting at 5:30 tonight because we have a hard stop at 7 as there is a ZBA meeting right after us. With that, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, I get it. And then after, if we could put the screen on in case I want to share something. Is that okay? Sure, thank you.
Sure.
Why not? We'll see if, make sure it works. My computer definitely did something, so. Yes, thank you, Letty. First item is to review and approve the September 29th, 2025 meeting minutes. Thank you, Michelle, for those minutes.
I would make a motion to approve them if no one else has corrections they noticed, because I don't think I had any.
Were these for the site walk?
No,
Okay.
all of our site walk are already approved. This was an actual official meeting on the
Okay.
29th.
Did you
I'll
make it?
second it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Thanks. Well, I don't think I'm supposed to do that, right? I
Yeah,
think-
you're just a member of the committee.
Okay.
You're not, I mean, I don't want to say you're not. You don't lose your rights
Okay.
to the things.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. So the September 29th, 2025 minutes are approved. Next would be updates from the select board, Letty.
I don't even know where to start. We've been approving budgets. Some have been tabled, some have come back around, some have been tabled and we're still waiting for some more information. I think that's it. I mean, just going through budgets. Unless, Jim, did you have something that you wanted
Well,
to remember about?
and I guess we can get to that when we get to the budgets. It's just, I definitely received, thank you to the town administrator, that I got the official printouts from the system of the line items, and I emailed all of you the spreadsheet, but I've still not received the, like, salary and wage detailed on each position. And
So I've
I'm
been
not-
asking for those as we go through the approvals, so I should be able to provide most of those to you
Okay.
as we do those budgets. I
Okay.
don't think there are that many so far.
Right, and I have that later. It's just,
Okay.
it's just, am I supposed to get those directly from do you think the department heads, from you, or from the town administrator? How does this work?
It's new, so I think it works however it gets done.
Okay.
It's up to you if you,
Okay.
I could try to send it to you ahead of time or, because I've been asking those questions at the select
Right.
board meetings.
I know, and we kind of, between our two boards, we discussed this and even documented it. And both we wrote it up and voted it, and then the select board voted it. And, I mean.
So we have the, so this, I mean, the budgets that have been done so far, we have the information. I think there was only one that we didn't have it, and then I asked, and you went and pulled that rate for the assistant. But other than that, I think all of them, like I know you gave me the one for the treasurer and the deputy, like we've been just getting them
So.
as we go.
I'll just tell you what I have. So I put it up on the screen, but obviously Budget Committee doesn't really have one.
Mhm.
Cemetery, we definitely have it because I did it,
Mhm.
because I'm the chair. I don't have one for code enforcement, and there's an employee. Conservation does not have an employee. Debt service, no problem. Election, there's no employee there. Emergency management's not an issue.
So election doesn't have employees, but it does have people get paid. And I
Correct.
do know what, so I guess that's a question.
Yeah, and maybe what we can do is go through some of these, like when we get, I guess I should maybe, either that or we'll pull it up, right? The next item on here is just this that we're doing, so I guess we can just continue on.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Are you done? Haven't we had some?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Employees hired since our last meeting?
That one? Because we didn't meet last week.
Right.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying.
Yes, we hired a town administrator, Julie Stevens.
Thank you. That's, and
Sorry,
welcome, Julie. And again, thank you
don't-
so much.
I
I'm
don't
really
know how to
happy.
answer that.
Okay, because he's not.
I don't know how to answer that.
And now that you bring it up, I should also say on the record that our meeting was canceled last Monday because I forgot on the Friday before to post our meeting notice in the bulletin board, and our new town administrator graciously called me Monday morning to remind me that that was done and saved me some, and all of us, a big embarrassment if we would have had a meeting here, because legally it does need to be posted there at least 24 hours in advance, and Sundays do not count.
And holidays don't count either, just so
Right,
you know, because
right.
that's happened to the select board before.
So thank you to that. You saved me and the committee kind of an embarrassing situation. So thank you for that reminder, Michelle.
Was there anything else I forgot to talk about,
I
Michelle?
don't think so.
Probably. There's a lot in my brain. The only other thing that, so last week, the select board, I mostly asked to move the fire department budget up the schedule, so it will be presented for the first time tomorrow, just because new leadership, just try to get an idea of what that might be. My thought was that it might need to be reviewed multiple times by the select board before it gets approved, and since it's one of the bigger ones, I wanted to make sure we had enough time to do that.
Cool.
So stay tuned. I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you. So
Mhm.
I guess the next item, and I'm not sure if it makes sense to take the schedule out of order, just to, because it may have some influence on whether we want to do some of these budgets this evening, or is there, do we want to just wait till the next time, since we have two members not here? Do you mind taking that 7B before, right now, up front, just to figure out when what are the actual
I
schedule
think
dates?
you as chair can move stuff around on the agenda
Okay.
as you see fit. I have no objection to that if that's
Yeah,
what
I
you're
just-
asking. I don't,
I-
Michelle, do you have a problem with that?
I do not have a problem with that, no.
I'm also fine with it.
Great,
Okay.
let's do it.
So if you look at the timeline,
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it up on the screen for anybody looking, and it's in your packet.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's in my
also
email,
printed.
but I,
I have it so many places.
This is great.
thank you.
So I started working backwards, right? So it looks like February 13th is the last day for us to have a budget hearing, okay? And the reason why I'm kind of looking at that is that I spoke to a couple of you about this, that I would like to be able to have a second public hearing if necessary, because at the public hearing, we kind of present our budget. If we get a lot of feedback from the public, comments or whatever, something that says, any of us decide, you know what, we want to take a look at that. In order for us to reopen the budget, and if we make any sort of change, then we need to have another public hearing, and it requires a 7-day notice. So if you back up, like if the last day to have the public hearing is the 13th, then you would have to put the notice out on the 6th. So if you back up a week from that, So like you start going backwards. I think if we have our first budget hearing on February 2nd, we would have to put a notice on January 26th. We have this hearing, and if there was a need for another meeting, we could put the notice out right after that, and have the second budget hearing on February 11th. And that would give us 2 days, or give me 2 days, or whatever we decided that day, to get those numbers updated and get them turned in.
So that's a
Ew.
Wednesday?
Yeah, I was gonna say the 11th is a Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't, are we required to have it on a Monday?
Nope.
I don't
was
think
just
so,
checking
right?
To make sure that I was.
I was mostly just
Thursday.
looking at the calendar as it was laid out. I mean, again, if we have it earlier on a Monday, or if someone has likes Mondays better, I'm okay with that.
Are you,
We just
are
would have
you
to-
working backwards from the February 18th date?
I actually was looking at the 13th is the last day that you can hold a budget hearing, right?
I guess I'm wondering if that's the last day we could hold the budget hearing. They gives you 5 days
Right.
to deliver the budget and warrant article recommendations. Okay.
That's why I was working back from that public hearing.
Mhm.
The 13th is kind of, because then it already has built-in time for us to get the numbers delivered, written, whatever, documented, signed, and hand them. I assume we send them to the town administrator, who enters it into the DRA system. Is that how it works?
That's not how they get, well, to get posted, it's just like posting anything else.
Right. But we don't enter because I actually had a budget committee member from another town ask me about this, like, do we enter the numbers? And I said, no, we don't. I had checked with the
No, 'cause-
previous administrator and said, no, we just do the numbers, and someone in the office, either the administrator or somebody else, does that. We don't do it.
Yeah, because typically the verbiage of the warrant articles doesn't change. It just might be that the budget committee and the select board might recommend different amounts.
Yeah, and isn't there an MS whatever form that has to be filled out for each of the the different lines of that we approve?
Yes, but I think that's for when it's after town meeting. That's not until after town meeting,
Okay, great,
I think. I'm looking. Yeah,
awesome. Okay. So again, if we look at the 13th as being the last day we can hold that hearing, that's a Friday.
mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, well, I picked the 11th, but let me get the calendar up. Oops. Yeah, so if the 13th is the last day, I had said, okay, so now your last, we would have to have the second budget hearing sometime before that. So that's why I think I just picked Wednesday the 11th, but if Wednesday's not a good day, I mean, I'm game
No,
for whatever.
no,
Yeah,
it's-
I don't have an issue with Wednesdays. I just
wanted to make
usually
sure.
we've tried
Yeah,
to
yeah,
keep it Mondays
no.
for like
Yeah,
continuity, but
and if that's how historically, Michelle, how it's been done, or, I mean,
well, yeah, but I don't think there's any reason we can't, because then looking at the calendar, February the 2nd is going to be a school board meeting. So to have that be like the first one wouldn't really work. Also, if the
So
last day for warrant articles
the
is the
4th?
3rd, the 4th is probably, it would be best to do the 4th. And then if we feel like after that one's over, oh no, we need a second one, that still gives you the 7 days to then either do like the 11th or 12th.
got it.
So I think 4th and 11th does
Okay.
make the most
I love
sense.
how.
Yeah,
Those work.
thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
really
Thanks.
good.
Doesn't always work that well, but yeah, because I don't think it makes sense to do it before the 3rd if that's the last day for people to submit warrant
yes.
articles.
Because I think that's usually I'm trying to remember, I'm looking at you because in past years, we have waited, I think, until that last day in case there's any warrant articles.
Yeah, because then we could discuss them like kind of quickly amongst ourselves before having the public
yeah.
hearing, at least if we did the 4th. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that last year, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think I think then your thoughts to do, looking at the 11th, which then puts the first and hopefully only one on the 4th.
Right.
Because I mean, if there's no reason to hold the
Absolutely.
second one, we're not.
Absolutely. Yes.
I would vote against
Totally
it too,
agree.
just
No,
for
no,
fun.
no, no, no way.
But
For
No,
fun.
totally.
I don't know if I'd use the word
No, I
fun.
don't.
yeah, I
And-
think that's
and-
the only reason
and-
not to
but-
do a
but
Monday,
the,
is to make sure we don't.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And they're held at the rec, right?
No.
No,
Yeah.
that's where it was last year.
Yes. We don't have AV equipment over there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand. When we did the public hearing for the tax cap, it was
No.
recorded. I watched it. No?
I think last year somebody recorded
So
it on a laptop.
recorded versus like having
Yeah.
this and having like people being able to be heard. Like if I remember correctly, that's when there was a lot of microphone problems as well.
Well, maybe a battery, but like I definitely had a presentation up on a TV screen. They had a large TV screen that I put it on.
Right. But so for example, the recording couldn't see your screen.
Right.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that it's something
Is-
to consider is that
Well,
that
where would you
space is
do it then?
here.
Really? The public hearing last year had significant.
people. I mean, there's a way for us
I don't know either. All I know is that the public hearing wasn't even, I mean, it was technically recorded after the fact, but I know. This is the only space that the town has that is designed for streaming and presentations. I'll put it that way.
Okay. I personally don't think this room is large enough
I
for a
was gonna
public
say,
hearing
unless
on
we
a
can
town
figure
I
out a
budget.
don't,
way
I
to-
don't disagree with you, but I think
Okay,
that is
well,
something that,
All right. We don't
Yeah,
need to,
it's
and we don't need to
it's
solve that
weighing the
now
two of,
anyways.
do you want the
That's-
meeting to be recorded for people who cannot attend in person? Or do you want everyone who wants to attend in person to be able to fit in the room? I think is what it boils down to.
Oh,
oh,
Mr.
Mark, what
Kennedy.
is Mark going to address for us?
have a seat at the table,
Mr.
Mr. Kennedy.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. That's a trick chair. Watch out.
So what exactly, Mark Kennedy, Land Use Administrator, so what exactly do you want to know?
We were talking about, we're scheduling the public hearing for the budget in February. And I said that last year we had it at the rec because we tend to get a large crowd, more than would fit in this room. And, but we're also talking about what are the abilities to be able to, record that so other people can see it.
Apparently, the way I understand it is that you would have to independently record it and then post it to the website, which is very difficult. If you've seen it done, and it's super choppy, you have to hand one microphone around the room. It's not, in my opinion, very conducive to public engagement. The way we're doing it now with the camera and everybody's got a mic and it's all on and we can have a fluid conversation between an applicant and the board, this is the best way of doing it.
So as an engineer, business manager, used to tell his attorney, you know what I want done, how do I do it?
You need to hire
We-
someone.
Yeah, you'd have to
Okay.
hire
Have
an
to-
independent
you'd have
media
to
company.
hire a media company to come and stream.
Right. There's enough electronics
Well-
in that box back there that controls all
and
these microphones there's no way of transporting it.
I don't believe the budget committee has a budget appropriation to pay for that.
I go
But
through this
I
with the
also
planning
know,
board
look,
as well, because they would
I'm
like to
just gonna
move it.
say,
And I like
I
to.
was very involved with the public hearing on the tax cap. And I gave my presentation, I had a microphone, I stood up in front of the audience. I don't remember anyone there complaining about they couldn't see the slideshow or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was recorded because I played it back because I like watching myself on TV. And it worked. So
But the
again, I
people-
don't,
But, so you knew what the presentation was on the
Mhm.
recording, you can't see that presentation.
but it's posted is like, we had the PowerPoint presentation was right posted. And I get it.
All I
do.
was saying,
I-
my
I'm not
point,
arguing.
and I think Kat captured it well, was if you want to
Okay.
have a space for more people, that's the space. If you want to have a space that's set up for presentations, this is the space.
Yeah,
And
this is a much,
we have to balance those two things.
it's a much more conducive, if everybody's using their microphones properly, this is a much more conducive way to reach the people at
I
home.
100% agree. What's the capacity of this room?
99.
Yeah, believe it or not, it's 100 people.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like if we can
Mhm.
get the chairs, we can get the tables moved back, we probably could up the capacity of this room a fair amount. And
Sure.
it
You-
probably
you
wouldn't
could.
Then
be
let's do it.
ideal, but it's,
Mhm.
I mean,
There is no
this setup-
ideal
This setup
solution.
is really nice.
Are
Don't
you
get me wrong.
expecting that
just-
many people?
I,
what's the attendance last year?
It
Does
was
anyone
tax,
know?
so because of the tax, I don't know what this year's gonna be. I think last year there was a thing that everyone wanted to hear and talk about. I don't know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen this year. The other thing that I know we can do is if we're here, we can actually put a screen at the other end of the hall, basically watching the live stream. So if people
Okay.
wanted
Okay.
to
Yeah, you know,
walk
that
down
might
there
work.
and come
Yeah.
down here, if they had something to
Cool.
say, they could.
And
Okay.
you're
and we
al-
have, no, and we have time to decide this.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
But you know, something that's a good
You're
idea.
almost saying
That's a
like
good
this
idea,
room
too.
isn't big enough for our needs.
I am saying that there is no room in
That's
town
kind of
big
what I
enough for.
heard you
There
say.
he goes. Okay.
Mhm. I think that's my exit cue.
That's it.
That's the Sanborn room. This is the cross.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Helpful as always. Okay. So I think we got the dates worked out, right? So, and if we were going to have the 4th as the budget hearing, I would think we would want, I think I just penciled down the 19th or something that I would want to, like I think it says, I wrote the 26th to review the budget hearing beforehand. Anyways, I mean, we're looking at like middle of January, right? That we have to really have numbers approved. Does that sound reasonable? Hey, Dan.
Sorry, so if we do the 4th.
Yep.
That would need to be noticed on, I'm writing all the dates backwards.
Yeah, I think I wrote 1.
The 28th? Or no, is it more than that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, 28th. That's correct.
It's okay.
No problem, Dan. So 128 notice. So sometime that week of 20. So yeah, the week of the 19th or something, right? So like you would think at that meeting on the, this is what I penciled down. I penciled down that our meeting on the 19th really should be when we probably have things finalized.
Mm.
That sound reasonable? Yeah, right.
Or the,
Yeah.
or the petition, like, I could imagine that if the board knew about, like, board warrant articles, we could give them to you ahead of time. It's just the petition ones that we won't know until that last day. Right, like the
And
ads, capital.
just for my education, my first time through this, the warrants are going to come from the select board to the budget committee. We have no way of making a warrant us, right? We have no purview on
The
warrant.
budget committee does not, but as a citizen, you can.
No, correct.
Any-
But I'm just saying, so it's going to come from select board to us. And then, like you said, there's a cutoff date for the citizens petition warrants, right?
Yes.
And that's February 3rd, it looks like, on this
Mhm.
calendar. That look right?
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, between the 19th and the 3rd, there's that, which is why we can have a meeting prior to the hearing too. Okay, that sounds good. Anyway, so there's a plan.
But I don't think there's any reason. Sorry, Julie. Like if the select board is presenting warrant articles for filling capital reserves and all those things that we usually do, we could have those before the 19th.
Yeah,
We could,
Yeah.
we could just do those
yeah.
beforehand and then all you'd be waiting for.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how we did the last.
That's really the last
Last year.
date I put down because everything else is kind of, flows through, but it just sounds like, okay, the 19th, we should have all of these.
Did we
Budget's
schedule
wrapped up.
a meeting for the 19th, just in January?
No,
Okay.
no, we stopped
Okay, I was
at
gonna
the
say,
end
'cause
of
I'm-
December. We stopped at the end of December and maybe at the
Yes.
end of tonight, we can go further out if we want, and I'll get those posted just to get them on the calendar, and I'll get this room reserved.
Okay.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to wait till the end? Okay.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think that takes care of that action item, the agenda item.
Do you want to do all of the new business now, or?
Well, why don't we, Dan, if you want to go back, we'll have you do the school board update. You want to do that? And then we'll.
Yeah.
we'll-
Three big items on the school side. Number one, you all might have heard our principal, Ron Q, is retiring, which is unfortunate, but we're happy for him. He's been the principal of Swayze School for 14 years, I believe. So that's a big loss, but Swayze is such a great place to work that we're confident we'll have a new principal that's amazing as well. I don't know if he or she will play the guitar quite as well as Ron Q, but the search starts in January, and there was a letter sent out to families and the community a few weeks back. So that's the first one.
So he's retiring at the end of the school year?
Yeah. So our search starts in January for what would be a June-ish start. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head. The second one is at the SAU level, we just had a budget hearing. Letty was there, the only member of the public to attend the budget hearing, but thanks, Letty, for showing up. In that meeting, we finally got word from Health Trust that rates are going up by 17% on the health side, like 5% on the dental side, and it's significant. It's killer. So knowing that, towns will, sort of be planning based off of that rate increase at the local district level. So Brentwood, being its own district, the leadership team at the SAU level really wanted to make a point of not increasing the SAU budget, and so they were able to successfully do that. So it's 0% flat, which is amazing that they're able to pull that off. And now we're tasked with, planning the Swayze budget, knowing that there's that 17% increase that got announced by Health Trust just a couple weeks back. And so we really want to, as we begin or not begin, but sort of progress through the budget planning process, we really want to maximize transparency. So we're doing something a little additional this year. In addition to our normal monthly meetings, we're hosting a budget hearing, I think is what we're calling it. It's basically, we took a look at what other towns in the SAU do as far as public budget hearings and things like that, and landed on, I believe it's like 30 minutes before our November meeting. Let me get the specifics pulled up. Budget workshop, adding 30 minutes prior to our November meeting for the budget workshop is what we're doing. So the date of that is, it's our November meeting, so it's the first Monday in November.
Third.
Yep, Monday, November 3rd. So instead of starting at 6 o'clock, we'll start at 5:30, and it'll be like a open
That is
public
next.
budget.
That's next week.
next week.
Put that in my.
Yeah, Halloween's Friday, that's right. And so we're gonna look at, we have like a few different options that we've started to prepare, or I guess I should say like a few different scenarios that we've prepared. And so those will be presented, and we'll have a chance for folks to give feedback and share their thoughts. it's challenging, right? Because we're tasked with the 17% increase from Health Trust. And so, yeah, that'll be next week, next Monday. And so that was sort of updates 2 and 3, the SAU, 0% increase, but then also the impacts that's going to have on the Health Trust announcement's going to have on our local budget, because that obviously, factors into teachers' benefits and things like that. And that's all I've got.
I just want to add one, only because I was surprised at that joint school board meeting, they mentioned the recent case that had been decided out of Pittsfield, I want to say.
Yep.
Where it was decided that if a student elects to go to another district, which they can through the open enrollment process, the district that they live in has to pay for, like, it used to be that you had to approve to become a sending district and a receiving district, but that apparently this new case law, it seems like, or the new decision that was made at the court changes that. So if I wanted to send my kids to Epping schools, Brentwood would just have to pay for it.
What, do you know how much do they pay? How was that determined?
They get to
80%.
or more.
Well,
It's a minimum of 80%.
Once you get into like
80.
special ed students and things that require additional assistance, that's where it gets really messy and complicated.
But it's 80% of what the receiving, like the average per pupil expenditure is in the receiving. They pay
Yeah.
80% of that?
Yes.
And
So the reason I was concerned about that is because that means if somebody wanted to send their kids to Swayze, because why wouldn't they? Because it's awesome. Who picks up the other 20% of that bill?
Yeah, and also like who determines what your like max?
Yeah.
There's got to be a cap, right?
because I know part of the statute did have something in there about the receiving district has to have adequate resources. And it
Yeah.
seemed to me that, again, the receiving district determines what excess capacity we have.
It's
It's
not
feel like-
defined
and-
is the scary part.
Yeah, it's not defined, and it used to just sort of
Okay.
be something that was determined like at the local level historically, but like Pittsfield, in that case, they sort of got overridden by this court case.
Interesting. Okay.
By this ruling, and so that has districts worried now, like
Yeah.
throughout the state. Like, does this mean the floodgates are going to be open, and then we can't determine whether or not we accept students? So it's very much so TBD. But it seems like that case has districts on their toes now and wondering what's next. Is my understanding of it.
Regarding the health trust, obviously, we here in town are looking at other options. I don't know if the school has the time or capacity to look at other options, or the SAU, rather.
Yeah,
to
that's
do
a good.
that.
That's a good
But
question.
With that kind of rate increase, if that's a possibility, maybe someone can.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it boils down to time or if other options are, I don't know, maybe less flexibility in the case of a large SAU or something like that. But now that those rates have come through, it's a good point. It's a good time to see what other options would entail.
Knows a guy.
Knows a guy.
Actually, and Letty's, there are a couple of people I think that we're getting rates from for the town.
I
so.
don't know how much more complicated it is because of the essay, because it's not just Swayze.
No, I understand, but something
Yeah.
to
Oh,
consider.
yeah, no, absolutely. I just don't.
What's interesting is that the town, I have it up there, right? It says our renewal group has an 11.3% increase. So, and I thought you guys were, I would have thought as they're a bigger pool, they would be in better shape. You know what I mean?
So they might
but I
not be a
guess
bigger pool. So again, we are pooled together with all other towns that have
With-
less than 50 employees.
Correct.
So
Correct.
our pool overall could be
And we don't
No,
know.
but I just
also
know,
the-
you remember it came up here, people that said, oh, can you guys get in with the school? Because if we get more, it'd probably be less, because I'm just going by what someone said. I think we even brought that up
Yes,
last
I
week,
just,
so it
I want to say
surprised
this
me.
again because it's come up a couple times. We cannot pool.
No,
with
no,
schools
right, no,
because-
no, and I wasn't insinuating, it was just more of, because I think people were assuming that it would be cheaper if you're with the schools, but it sounds like their rates are going up higher than,
So what
than the
you're
town
saying
rate.
I
is
don't know
our
what the
pool could be
increase
bigger
is
than the
relative
SAU.
to
But I
like,
don't
what's the
know how
last
big
time
our
the
pool
town's
is.
increase was released versus the districts. I don't know if it was a longer period of time on the district side or what. I don't know how.
Well, this is just strictly from last year, one
Last
year,
year.
from year to year, yeah, yeah, so, I don't know, okay, okay. Any other questions for Dan? Thank you.
Yeah.
And I did put it on the calendar, so it's November 3rd, 5:30, right, for that workshop.
Yep.
Great.
Exactly.
Okay. So now, I guess, back to new other business. The first one, the Grange Building Repairs and Maintenance. I brought this up because, as you know, we all had the site walk, and the conditions over there were pretty interesting in the attic and in the basement. And, you know, they did get funding from the select board to do the study, which will be done early in 2026. I didn't know if it made sense for, I know we have a building maintenance fund, but I think that Grange building is going to be a significant project, different than typical maintenance of our buildings in town. And would it make sense, not that we could do this, but if this group feels that it makes sense, that maybe we can send a letter to the select board asking if they would think about that or agree to it, that why don't we set up a reserve fund this year and have a warrant to put some money aside to kind of as a feeder, like 25,000 or something, put into a new reserve fund specifically for the maintenance and repair of the Grange building, so that when they get this study back, they can start making a plan of how they're going to do those improvements. And there is matching. I know there are grants that will match 50/50. And
They can get-
if we do it now, he'll have money available to do that versus if we wait.
Yes, I don't think that's a bad idea, but that is really not in the purview of this board at all.
I totally agree.
Okay.
I totally agree.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, if this board agrees, because again, we do look at the budget, because if that's going to be a warrant, that would be something where, again, we as a board vote yes or no on warrants.
But
right?
you're suggesting the warrant.
Correct.
So you should come to the select board and make
Yeah,
that suggestion.
okay.
then.
Okay.
So I'm one of 5, but then my question would be, well, why don't we have one for rec and fire and this, but like, why is that building special?
Oh yeah, I mean, and again, I was just thinking because we already have a fund for building maintenance for
Mhm.
all buildings. And
Mhm.
if you look in there,
Including that
there is a line called Grange.
Yeah.
But this, to me, seems like a special project, and I think it would be something that,
So we have a
Not-
capital reserve fund for building projects that I think
Okay.
didn't get funded this, is that one of the ones that got, hold on.
My gut says that if the budget committee is going to be making recommendations to the select board around, think there should be a warrant for this, that, or the other thing, my instinct is to sort of hang back a little bit and see all of the needs and stack rank them. before,
True.
You know, in terms of.
Yeah.
no, and I'm probably jumping the gun too, because there is a line for Grange in maintenance in the budget. So I guess it could also go there as well. I just think that,
No,
Did not fund that.
but we
Last
do have a capital reserve that is specifically for building maintenance that's
Correct.
not in the operating budget. And maybe do you know that?
yes.
Okay, so you're thinking this would be separate from that?
Yeah, because again, I think typical maintenance of a building, usually when you're looking at how much to fund in a year-to-year maintenance fund, you're not forecasting or having any plans of taking a historic building that is really in decay, and who even knows how much
So
it's
it's
going to
actually
take to work.
In a pretty good shape for a historic building, but.
Well,
But I think, and maybe I'm looking at you because you've been around for longer, I think the point of the maintenance of town buildings, CRF, was for those more long-term, like the roof goes, or we just used it to replace the windows at the rec, like it's for more bigger projects anyway.
Okay.
Um,
I think you've answered my question, honestly.
Okay.
It's, again, inexperience. I thank you, Dan, Letty. This is select board purview,
Yeah,
not really.
not a bad
budget
idea.
committee.
Or
But-
it's a historical society recommendation, maybe?
To the select board, though.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to get ahead of that. I will probably have to recuse myself again, but that's fine.
Okay. In terms of subcommittee updates on health insurance, we actually have a team established of, and Letty graciously volunteered to be chair.
Mm.
Thank you.
That's
Um,
how that happened, yeah.
So we do have town employees as well as Michelle, myself, and then Letty and Bob from the select board. We had we met with Health Trust. They gave us the review of the new plans and all their plans that are available. And I guess there's a meeting scheduled to,
Yeah, we had
talk with-
a meeting last week because we got the new health trust rates, and then we are hoping to have somebody come on Thursday. Have you heard from that guy at all? Since I CC'd you on that, right? I said, can you come? Okay.
this is Sean you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I had asked him if he could come on Thursday. And I'm looking to see if I haven't heard back from him. So I guess I can follow up, or if you want to follow up, Julie, or do you want me to just to see if he can come on Thursday? Okay.
I can walk.
Maybe just
across the-
confirm.
I can walk
Maybe
across
just
the street and
confirm.
knock on his door. Cool.
Okay. On that same day, do you think? Okay. Well, I guess if you can figure out when Sean's gonna be here, then we could just slot her in the other time.
And again, just to clarify, those would be two different benefit consultants who would be giving us rates going direct to the insurance provider instead of
Mhm.
utilizing a risk pool for
Mhm.
insurance, just to see if there's some different or more flexibility and maybe cost improvements by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had on the health, unless you wanted to add anything.
I think and you and we had talked about this last week. I think I was surprised that the quote unquote high deductible plans didn't have a cost savings associated with them.
Right. If you recall, at one of the previous meetings Michelle and I had with the town administrator and health trust, he really played up the opportunity for the town and the employees to save money by doing these high deductible plans. And I guess these plans have to be approved government-wise. They have to be considered a high deductible plan in order for us to then pay part, like have an HRA, or like that we can actually pay part of that. And again, when he was saying cost savings for employees in town, you're thinking there's going to be cost savings. But when we actually looked at those plans, it was really like there wasn't much savings. It was kind of disappointing, to be totally honest, because I know Michelle and I, afterwards, we were kind of excited about, wow, well, maybe this is something that'll work. And as you remember, this was kind of the approach of the whole team, and this other thing kind of sidetracked us, but it just wasn't there. Now, my hope is that this is because they're a risk pool and they're really not an insurance company or insurance provider. So maybe they're limited with what they can do and by going direct to the insurance companies. But I also know that the health care right now and health insurance in general is kind of a real mess. And So
Yeah.
we'll have to just see what comes out of it. But thank you, Letty. You're right. That was definitely a disappointment.
I was hoping.
Yeah,
I was hoping for
we
more.
were all we were all disappointed. It just did not pan out. It wasn't there.
Can I just backtrack to 7B, which is the schedule you gave? I
Sure.
just realized that the town meeting, for some reason, is listed as Tuesday, March 10th. Is that just the voting day?
So that is technically when town meeting is, and we continue it until the Saturday.
Perfect. Cool. I don't think I knew that.
Yep. Yep. Some smaller towns still have their town meeting on Tuesday after voting.
Honestly?
That's a hard. That's a
That'd be
hard.
kinda
no.
nice.
No. Mm-mm.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're starting town meeting at 7 o'clock at night.
Well, I don't-
Yeah. After I've been there all day. No. I
Kids
would-
in bed.
Things could get pretty
Great.
spicy there.
So the town meeting is the 14th then? Is that right?
I don't think we've set it, but isn't that usually? I'm looking at you, Julie. It's typically the Saturday after.
Yeah.
That looks
Well, I
like-
just went to
yeah,
go put that in
that's
my
right, that's the
calendar just to be
14th.
safe, and I was like, the 10th is a Tuesday, and it says Tuesday.
Yep, that's when we vote, and then the 14th would be the
Perfect.
And then I don't know, Dan. Have you guys talked about when school meeting might be yet, or is it?
Yeah,
too
we
soon?
have it. I'll pull it up and share it here. Monday, March 2nd.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock, which is pretty standard. Like we do it in lieu of our normal monthly meeting at 6 o'clock. Monday, March 2nd is when it is.
Do you have to have a? Does that screw up our public hearing timeline by any chance?
No, our public hearing timeline, I think, is in February.
Right, but do we have to have? Because we have to have a public hearing on the school budget as well.
Well, when does the school budget get
Well-
presented to us? I'm missing something. It's not way before that?
Yeah, it would be
No, no, no,
before then.
So, the last day of the whole budget hearing was based on town meeting day. I don't know. Did who put these dates here? Did you or did they?
No, this is from the state. This is right from the DRA. I didn't make this.
Maybe the question. Oh,
I don't know, I don't feel like we had a separate meeting for that
We
last
didn't.
year.
no, we didn't have a separate one. But is there a time like this for that for school as well that we need to worry about? No. Okay, great.
I would prefer to involve, or I prefer to just like start the conversation. Like we're having that budget workshop on Monday. You know, I'm sort of
No,
start the
no.
conversation,
I
have it be an ongoing one.
no. I absolutely no. I'm talking about the budget hearing.
So I
The-
don't think you were here yet when we talked about
Sorry,
establishing
yep.
a date
Oh,
for the budget.
grab one of
for
those
our
things.
hearing,
Sorry.
Second page.
All right.
which we were talking about setting up on February
4th.
4th.
Okay.
and just having backtracking to make sure that we had enough time to do these things.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
aligned. We're doing ours on Monday. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
So you
But
did,
I don't think,
yours is a week earlier, which is fine because it is often the week before.
No, we're doing ours
Yeah.
like this Monday, like or
No,
oh,
no,
they're
no.
starting.
Monday, November.
I meant, but your
Public hearing.
Yeah.
but your district meeting is the week before this town one,
Oh, yes, correct.
and so I just wanted to make sure that we weren't gonna have any problems with the hearing dates.
Okay, gotcha.
But this is just for town meetings, so I don't know. I'm looking at you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
All I know is for the budget hearing, the first budget hearing on the 4th, we would obviously need to have seen the school budget because that's part of the presentation is the
Yes.
Swayze budget.
Is the
so.
4th early enough?
To backdate before the Swayze meeting, which will be on the 2nd.
Or are we
Yeah.
thinking that realistically, Swayze's not gonna need a second, we're not gonna need a second meeting for the school budget like we
That-
might for the town.
That's probably true. If we
Okay.
have that first hearing and go over the Swayze budget, if we do have to have another hearing, it is unlikely that the Swayze budget would need to be addressed again.
So we could approve the Swayze budget that first night.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Do you?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
we would only
Yeah.
have to
No, I
have
think
a
it's a
hearing
good,
for
I'm
anything.
glad you're asking. I didn't really think of that. I was just looking at the schedule here, and it, as like you said, it doesn't have anything on there about school, so if that was gonna be a
That
problem.
Timing, that cadence works well.
Okay. Every once in a while, I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, because I don't think we would probably need to reopen the school, because that's like a marathon day that we just ask all the questions about all the school stuff anyway. Okay, cool.
All right, so I guess with that, let's go to the budget, talking about the budget review.
Mhm.
I had sent all of you the spreadsheet, the town administrator had forwarded me the budgets that were proposed now so the department request came in, select board now approves and proposes those numbers to us, the budget committee, and the ones that I received, I have them up on the screen, but and you have them all. I sent you the zip file of the PDF files. We kind of discussed this a little bit earlier. I would rather not discuss one of these budgets if we have not received all of the details that we asked for, meaning for any position that's funded in 2026, we asked for those salary sheets that clearly show the current rate, the future rate, all that, the details, so that basically when we look at a line item that says salary or FICA or whatever, we have the details that allow us to see what is included in that. And unfortunately, I have not received any of those for any of these other than cemetery. We have that because I did it. This,
So
because I'm
like
the
I said,
chair,
I
but-
have all of the ones that were approved by the select board. Is that,
well,
are you looking for it in a specific
well, I'd like
format?
to, no, I just like to be able to share it with the whole committee. I haven't received it from you or anybody.
Jim's not talking about the approved budgets, it's the additional artifact that was requested by the budget committee this year, which is the salaried positions.
Sure. I guess
Yeah.
the question, and maybe this was not clear, is that how were you expecting to get that?
Well, I listed specifically in the request what I want, what
Who were
we
you
all voted.
Who were you expecting to provide that to you and when? And
Whoever creates the budget. So if it's a department head, it's a department head. If it's a chair, it's a chair.
on what timeline? I'm
Okay,
trying
so
to
here,
be
no,
forward.
no. So
Because
yes, so
I
here's
have all
how,
that
and
information.
as the chair, I would say, I'm not gonna open the budget for us to even look at it unless they give us the information. And I feel that this committee, as, you know, we're all elected officials, we voted, we asked for it. I don't think we're asking for anything that they don't have, because they couldn't create a line called salary and wages if they didn't have this information. So the select board asked for it, the budget committee asked for it.
So,
If I don't get it, then I don't think we should look at the
so
budget.
select board got it, and that's what I'm trying to understand.
I don't have it.
Oh, so that's fine. So that's what I'm trying to understand. So the select board sorry.
Okay, so then I guess it should be,
Are you okay with this information coming from
of
Letty?
course,
Okay.
of course. No, yeah.
Because when we got budgets, let me see if I can find one.
But
They,
just so you know,
the bottom of them, they
the
have,
town administrator sent me the select board proposed line item, you know, and I updated in the spreadsheet, but I'm just saying I didn't get the details.
okay, let me see if I can find one from last week. Right, because that's basically what he's talking about, like when you have your little notes on the bottom of the things that you gave us. me see if I
And,
can-
and it's okay, because you don't need to get it now, because we wouldn't have time to really look at it now. So
Yeah,
if we don't, and we can always,
So let's at
We
least,
Go through
like,
the
have
easy
yeah,
budgets.
exactly. So,
Hold on.
let's at
So
least
like-
confirm understanding though that we are talking
Yeah.
about the same thing, right?
So like this, where this is the treasurer's current rate and the future rate. And here's the current rate, like,
Oh, maybe I thought you were talking about like the job description still,
okay, so,
but that
so
could
this,
just be me
because you have
misunderstanding.
this. This is town clerk tax cluster. I know you have this.
um, okay, I'll show you.
No, but, because you sent this to the whole, to
I
the
did.
whole group.
I created a tool for
No,
all
no,
of
no,
them
no.
to use.
No, no, no. This that says like, I'm gonna say, sorry, Daphne. Daphne's current rate and future rate. This is what you're asking for, and it's right here.
If, who sent it to me and when? I don't know if I
You
went.
sent it to us.
No, that,
Yes. Hold on. Let me now look.
I thought I sent a zip file that had all the information that the town administrator sent to us.
But also, this is, sorry, this is also all in that folder that I created for all of you to see.
I know you created a folder up there with the questionnaire of us, if we
All
if
the
we
other
had
stuff
questions.
is in this same folder.
All right.
Well,
Maybe I need to clarify that.
Okay.
As the chair, I received in a nice summary, each one in the same format, the budget line items from the town administrator for all of the proposed budgets from the select board.
Can you show me, are you talking about an Excel spreadsheet or something different? Jim,
It wasn't a spreadsheet.
I'm just trying to
It
understand what you
wasn't.
want so I can make sure that you get it,
Okay.
because,
So all of these are what I received from and you all have from the town administrator,
Uh-huh.
right? And these are just the budgets,
yes.
right?
Yep,
Right,
so
right?
if you go to the folder that says Letty info, wherever you just were, what's in that one? Yep.
This was something that,
Yep, so right there, like
Yeah.
TCTX budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is what you wanted. That is
ye-
the information that you wanted.
yes,
It's right here.
okay. That folder was given to me by the select board chair last week and said, I think this might be what you want. All I'm saying is I didn't officially get this from the clerk. I didn't officially get it
So-
from you even in an email. I don't believe. And-
I did, I sent this whole folder.
She did share this folder with us. I don't remember when,
Oh,
but.
It was,
Okay.
it was
It
the
was
same
Okay.
day that I created,
September,
it
or-
was the same day
yeah.
that I
Okay.
created that file, because I basically said, here's everything that I've gotten so
Okay.
far.
Right.
Here's where I'm gonna put, where you can put questions,
It was September 30th.
but aside from that, is this not what you want?
this would be okay. This is fine.
Okay. Okay. Would you like me to summarize this differently for you?
No, the data as shown on this, in that Excel spreadsheet is perfectly acceptable.
Okay. I'm not sure that all of them have spreadsheets, and so maybe that's something.
Okay, so other than the clerk one, which one does? Because like I said, I know I have the cemetery one because I did it. But
Okay. I mean, okay. I could look and see. Is this your folder now?
this is
my folder?
this is just my folder.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see. That would have come from Mark. So I don't think there is one for code enforcement. I think it just would have been on that sheet that, but I
Okay.
probably would have sent, so I guess I have to look.
I think library has a good spreadsheet of like who does what at what hours and.
But
Well,
honestly,
they
library
haven't discussed
doesn't
that
even
one,
matter
yeah.
because we don't really. But like here's one, and I know this hasn't even been presented yet, but I did it, right? So like I did one for employee 1, employee 2, employee 3.
Yep, so that is in
Right.
that folder.
For,
The folder, the snow and ice. the-
no, but remember, that one hasn't even been presented to the select board yet.
I
All I'm
know.
saying is,
I'm just trying to figure out what you're missing in terms of information.
okay, let's go back. Budget committee doesn't require one.
Okay.
Cemetery, we have it.
Okay.
Code enforcement, I do not have, and I don't know where, is it in that folder?
So could I just tell it to you, or you want it? To
No, I want to see it in, I'd rather see a spreadsheet or something. I mean, I don't,
Okay.
telling, because then I can share it with the whole group.
Oh, Jim, I'm just trying to understand what it is you want, so I can make sure you have it.
Okay, I don't know how else to say this. Like, we requested something specific. The
But
people who are
Got it from a lot
providing,
of them.
Yeah,
So-
so let's go through and like checklist it, right? This
Yeah.
one's not applicable, this one we have, here it's linked here, and then everyone
Okay.
can look at it and not like.
So you
be
want
searching
more for
which
code
is
and
right.
can I just ask, is the select board getting this information, or do you have to go pulling it from here, there, or inventing it yourself? I mean, I guess
Yes,
I'm
the
not
select
used
board
to.
received it all, which
You
is
did?
why it's in that folder, which
Okay.
is why the whole select.
Well,
board
then,
has
if the
it.
select board's going to send their proposed budgets to the budget committee for review, perhaps you can put it with, like, together, so that I don't have to go looking for it. I can just I would get it all on behalf of this
It-
committee, and it would be in one
It is
place.
in that folder. That's all we've got. I think that's all we've got. We haven't gotten anything different other than actually the PDFs that you have now.
Okay.
That are not in the folder. But so code enforcement,
I don't think conservation has one.
That's
Debt
okay.
service does not. Election,
do you want a breakdown for debt service, even if there isn't an employee?
I don't need one if there's not an employee, no.
Okay.
Because it's not a funded position in that one. It's
I didn't
just,
know if you were still gonna want information about how the lines were determined.
no, because on that one, it just lists principal and interest with
Okay.
with kind of a name.
Okay.
If you look at election, I don't believe there's a actual funding of a person, but there is funding there, so I think we do need a breakout on that one of where that number came from. Again, if you look at election, so there's a proposed line called salary clerks, $7,200. I'd like to see a breakout of that. Like, what is that? How is it calculated? Who is it? That type of a thing. And I'm sorry to give this to you. I mean, again, when we kind of discussed this, voted it, I wrote the letter, gave it to Paul. The select board, I believe, unanimously voted to do the same, ask for the same thing.
Mhm.
I didn't think, I would have expected that when these budgets get turned in from the people who do the budgets, again, whether they're a chair, whether they're a department head, regardless, that these things would be given.
No.
And if they're, well,
Anything that was given
and
was
it-
put in that folder.
so, and if it's in that folder, then it's my, I guess as chair, I go sifting through this stuff and try to figure out whose is what. Again, I just don't think that's,
That's how
fair.
the select board has to do it.
Yeah, that's not right.
Okay.
That's in my opinion. I mean, we made a simple request. It's their budget they're proposing to us. I don't know why I have to go digging around finding it. It just seems disrespectful, in my opinion, of an elected board. And if it's not, I know it's maybe not how they've done it in the past, but
So I think part of
we're
the
asking
challenge
for
that we're
this.
facing right now is because this is different than how we've done it in the past.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's intentionally trying to keep, I think
oh, there's no,
it wasn't clear what the expectation was, what the
And-
timeline was, and whose responsibility it was. So I guess, for
Well-
example, did you contact any of these departments and tell them that we were gonna reviewing their budgets tonight?
no, because I did not believe we were going to be able, any ones that were on here that I didn't have the sheets, I was not going to bring it up to discuss it. So no, I did not invite any of them here to discuss it, no.
Which means they didn't know that you needed
They,
that.
what part of me notifying and the select board notifying ahead of time that when they turned in their request, they were supposed to submit this information? Like, what part of that wouldn't
Okay,
they
so
understand?
I am willing to go through this folder and find out which ones are missing that information for our next meeting, because we obviously aren't gonna do it tonight. We have 20 minutes left of our meeting. So if we want to approve or discuss any of these other budgets.
Well, this
we
is why
can
I
just
said,
go
if you
ahead.
want to approve budget committee cemetery conservation, debt service, any of these others. But I also know that we have until January to do it. And some of these are pretty small. And as a budget committee who's responsible for the total budget, making sure that it meets the tax cap from a legal requirement. I mean, again, if we could approve them right now, and I have no problem, some of these are really straightforward, and I don't
I
even
would
think.
rather do the straightforward ones, you know, as
them
soon
out of
as
the
we
way.
can, get them
Okay.
out of the way, because
And
even, you know, each one takes what, like 3 to 5 minutes, but that adds up
Sure.
over time. And especially
I-
if we get into ones where it's more contentious or there's a lot to discuss, we just don't have these things hanging over us, and it's just kind of
And-
makes it easier.
And we never discussed this, but I feel
Yeah.
like some of these that are simple, I see no point in bringing either a department head or a chairperson or something in front of us
Yeah,
if we're just gonna do it. There's no
Yeah.
need. So
but that's what, like,
I
I
mean,
think as a conservation commission
we have 20 minutes, so if we wanna do
is
those, I
level
have,
funded, and I think that,
I mean, I can put them right up on the screen. If we wanna
Yeah.
do them right
So that's
now,
what-
we can just do them.
some of those ones I'd rather,
Why don't we do budget committee since that's us?
sounds great.
So I have it up on the screen. The only change that the select board approved and they're proposing is that we're changing the professional training back to, well, we put $230 because that pays for 2 members of this committee to attend the NHMA budget session next year, the training session. Again, I definitely will attend that. It's in September. It's, I think, 150. I forget what it costs to go, or whatever. The 230 will cover 2 of us going to that training. I think we just need a motion and a second, and we vote this one, and it will be approved by the budget committee.
What's the purpose of the training?
Every year, NHMA has a budget session, like a workshop.
Seems like it would be helpful.
Yeah, I do. And I think someone said that at one time this had actually been funded much higher, that more people could have
It
won.
used to be that almost every new budget committee member would go when they got elected. It was very helpful. I mean, it was by choice if you wanted to go, but the opportunity has been there for a very long time. I think we cut we cut it out of the budget previously because nobody was going, I guess, or maybe it
That-
was
yeah.
just.
That's what
Yeah, I
happened.
think
That's what
last year we were looking at
It's one of
places
those
where
slashes.
historically, for a long time, the money hadn't been spent,
Mhm.
so why are we? The budget I'm looking at has another line that this one doesn't, which is printing. I don't know if that
It's
is,
0 in this one.
it is 0. Do you want to keep it as 0? Or do you want to make it a 1?
So,
As someone new to this, what's the material difference in 1 versus 0?
The material difference is that if it's a 0, we cannot spend money there. If it's a 1, you can. It will overdraw the line, which is fine.
And what has printing ever been used for? Or what could it be used for in this?
Well, I know that this committee has been excited about trying to get more public involvement and have more information get out there. That could be something or not.
and we do it all as part of the town report last year?
Well, we didn't send out
What
any
did we
mailers
do?
last year.
Hmm.
I don't think anything actually, we had talked at one
Yeah, I
point
think
about
actually the only thing
sending
we-
something out.
I think the only thing we had created was a ad for the newsletter and maybe Facebook or something.
Mhm.
I don't think we printed anything.
That's the only, that was the only difference, I guess.
I have no strong feelings on that either way.
Great. Never mind.
I feel like, yeah, I'm kind of with you where I have strong feelings about trying to make sure people are aware of things, but I don't know that we need to print
things.
much. I think, yeah, posting online or,
Or if we want it printed, we could always get it.
Actually, what did we print? Did we print anything for the hearing?
Yes, just on the photocopier here, with me making a bunch of copies and being unprepared for how many people there were.
What did
and
we print?
We
the
printed
whole-
that like single page main differences. That was,
Sort of the summary of the okay.
But I think if we're planning to have the meeting here, we're gonna have beautiful displays for people to look at.
yep. All I
And
know
if-
is that
and we-
I
I
have,
mean,
I
and we
literally
can-
have a note in here that says mailers question mark, which,
And I mean, yeah, because also then if we had like kind of a quick thing that people might want to reference, we can make it available ahead of time, and anyone who likes having a physical copy can print it themselves at home.
Do that.
It's 21st century.
I agree. I agree.
it's crazy. All right, cool. That was the only note I had.
Yeah, so I'm comfortable making the motion to accept this budget or approve this budget.
The 232.
Yeah.
I'll
Second.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second, a motion by Kat, second by Dan, to approve the budget committee budget for a total amount of $232. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. Okay, so BudCom is approved.
Did
Great.
our own budget. Way to go, team.
Awesome. Next, the next one that I had on the list was cemetery.
Right.
Okay, so the approved budget from the cemetery, and I'll put the wages up in a second. The only change that the select board asked if I could reduce the maintenance line to $1,500, and we were okay with that. Honestly, we had historically put $2,000 in that line. Last year, it was reduced to $1,000 based on historic spending. This year, we are going to slightly go over that at about $1,200 or $1,300, but yeah, $1,500 is fine. So like I said, these amounts are fine. The breakdown on the employee, let me just get that for you. So if you look, basically we have one employee, we have a superintendent of cemeteries who works 6 hours per week. Here is the 2025 hourly rate. You increase it by 3%, it puts it to the new rate. There is no retirement because it's not retirement eligible because her total hours are less than the requirement. In the past, she had been doing different positions in town, so we would get an allocation for that on retirement. So actually, if you look at the total cost there, that portion went down, but here's the details of basically it's pretty straightforward. The only other thing I'll note, there's a line that says stipend. That was changed last year. There was a $600 stipend for, historically, you have the ability, the cemetery trustees have the abilities to have a clerk and a superintendent. So the clerk would do kind of the paperwork type stuff with any sort of burials, or if someone wants to purchase a lot. But many years ago, Joyce has been doing all of it for a long time. And last year, the committee voted, instead of giving the stipend to the trustee who was doing the minutes, and then he would hand the money to Joyce, we just said, this doesn't make sense. We'll just roll it all into her salary, and we leave it as $1 in case we ever go back to that format. But so that's basically the details on the one employee that we have.
Before we vote on this budget, I would like to get a feeling from the board. Actually, I would like to make a motion that any salary increases be 2.8% as determined by the Social Security increase for next year.
It is worth mentioning that I did bring it up to the select board that we were anticipating getting that number, because I don't think that number was out last Tuesday
No, I think
yet.
it came out like yesterday. Or
That I had suggested that we go through as a bundle and reapprove all the budgets that we had approved that had an increase in them, because that 3% was only meant to be a placeholder. I don't know if you would need to go, I guess this board could approve that, and then the cemetery committee would have to go back and reapprove theirs, or would it just go back to the select board?
Well, obviously, this committee, I can change this to 2.8, we can vote it right now, it's done. We don't have to go back to anybody.
Actually, I mean, it would have a slight adjustment. to
But
the
I mean, I
prices and
can't speak for,
everything,
I'm only,
Yeah.
I'm talking with my cemetery trustee hat now. I'm not talking on, like, I could make this 2.8 and
I would second that motion, but it's complicated because I don't know what the select board is gonna do.
Is it, am I taking crazy pills, but is it like, you're talking a motion across all salaried employees in the town to make the rate identical is, at least on the
That it
school
wouldn't
side?
exceed 2.8, I don't know.
Or
that there
are you
any
talking
that
just
aren't.
COLA or merit as well? That no
Um,
one gets anything over 2.8, or that we are only gonna do a 2.8 for
Well,
COLA?
the COLA.
Okay.
I don't know that there are any merit increases, if that has been proposed. I don't know.
Yeah, I just
Could
didn't want
not
to
answer that for you.
hamstring if there is one that we just,
again, I'll speak with the cemetery
That is-
trustee chair. We didn't even do a performance appraisal because I wasn't requested to do it this year. I didn't get the forms and I didn't hear anything about any merit. Yeah, but it could be because there wasn't a town administrator this
No,
year. I'm just
you
saying,
did not.
like, I'm not aware of.
But isn't it more nuanced than that? Like, with teachers, for example, like, we're highly systematic about, like, how their
So
salaries.
fun
increase
fact,
over
it's
time.
not at the town level. We can just do nothing for years and years on end, or do something on a given year. It is literally just ad hoc.
This would not affect the Swayze, if that's what you're.
No,
getting
no.
at.
I
Okay.
just, like a lot of us probably have worked at organizations where there's a lot more long-term thinking around, performance-based pay and like how salaries increase, like, and in the case of the teachers at Swayze, there's steps, right? You go out and you get a master's degree or you earn additional,
So I
professional
believe-
development certificates.
I
and
think
that
the
systematically leads to raises of different levels. There's just a lot of
Police
thought and planning
chief,
that goes into it.
previous police chief had tried to create something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen with this year's police budget. I know fire made their own version of the one that the police chief had, but just added more steps in between because they have more certifications or whatever. So yes, but there's nothing like that on a town level.
And just, for the 3 years I've done it for the cemetery, the 2 previous years prior to this one, we were told by the select board, this is what the COLA percentage is, everyone gets it. This is the merit percentage. You do your performance appraisal, it's rated on a scale of, 0 to 5. So if the person was, for all the categories, ended up with a 5, they got the full amount. If they were a 4 out of 5, they got 80%. So that's why this sheet was done. See, there's a merit there. But this year, like I said, kind of was told there wasn't any merit, just a 3% COLA. So, and
Placeholder.
right.
3% was a
Excuse me,
placeholder.
Anyway, so that's why it was done this way.
Got it.
So that's why the merit shows 0,
Select board has
because it's
already
not
ruled out
funded.
any possibility
The
of
select board
merit.
has not done anything about any of that yet.
Okay.
But as a
The select board
as a
discusses
as a
COLA.
department head, Dan, I was
I
not told any number.
brought it
in
up
there, so I can't put a
last
number.
week
And this
briefly, but
is just
the
COLA
number
rate
had not
increase.
been
Yes, that was based on
released yet.
when the
Okay.
select board sent out the
Well,
request
yeah.
to the department
Okay.
heads.
So
I'll wait for
that
them.
helps clarify things now.
Oh,
Thank you.
No, my question was just because I know last year we used a slightly higher number for calculating COLA within the town than what Social Security had, but it was based off recommendations from some like outside
I-
consulting. I can't remember what it was.
Putting my single member of a 5-member board hat on, I started to talk about that last week at the select board meeting, but the number hadn't been released yet.
Mhm.
It did come up last week that apparently there was some confusion. Some people, there was some understanding that the 3% was some sort of guarantee. And that I'm pretty sure I went back and checked the email that had only intended to be a placeholder so that you could build a budget
Yeah.
until such time as the select board made an official determination about what that would be.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, if we're using a 3% COLA, which it was a placeholder, so I'm not saying we are.
Yes.
For cemetery, it needs to be 3% for everyone and not 2.8 for everyone
Well-
whose budget got approved after X date.
I'll just
Well,
be
but-
honest, I'm the department head. If you want to make a motion and it's second to make it 2.8, we can do it right now and it's
Well,
done.
I'm
We'll
not
put-
talking just about cemetery. I'm
Oh,
talking
okay.
I think we
talking
do need
across
to
the board.
hammer out, like, what is
Okay.
COLA gonna look like?
Should we skip this one and go to ones that don't have any people? So that we can
Sure.
avoid
I would
this
be
question?
Let's do that.
interested in.
Let's do
having
that since it has, yeah, let's do
Select
that.
board discuss COLA before we.
Sure.
I hope we're gonna
Do
talk
it.
about that tomorrow, now that, Julie, that's old business, right?
I
'Cause we
mean-
brought it up last week, okay.
This board can make that decision whether the select board does or not.
I would agree with that. I just, me personally, I feel like it's early yet. I haven't heard what they've seen, what they've done with any of the real bigger budgets and
So the ones
anyways,
that
I
we've approved
like
so
your
far,
idea, to be honest with you. I'd like to hear their
the ones that we
perspective
approved so
tomorrow.
far have had the 3%, literally only because that number was released yesterday. So it was supposed to be released a week ago, but for some reason,
Okay,
They
so
didn't
this
release it.
board, so we're not taking a
Let's
vote
just
on that.
table the cemetery one then, until we hear more on the,
And I,
A
Wait.
motion was
can
made
we
and
also,
seconded.
Oh.
Is that being tabled also?
can I make a motion to table that and we will discuss the 2.8 COLA and potentially then accept that motion next time?
I wouldn't want to make that motion now nor approve the cemetery one in a silo, just because I think alignment is important on that and uniformity of some sort.
Yeah.
and
I don't necessarily agree or disagree with doing it. I just am interested to hear what the discussion tomorrow looks like first.
I'll be curious as well.
All right, do we want to do any others?
Conservation doesn't.
yeah,
have-
conservation.
Zoning or conservation?
Why don't we do conservation? I have it up on the screen. The departmental requests was 12,704, and the proposed from the select board is the same.
Motion.
Second.
So I have a motion and a motion, Michelle, second Kat,
None of the
to,
lines changed, right? It's
No.
really just
Nope.
the same as this.
to accept the conservation budget at $12,704. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No? Okay, so we have approved conservation.
Can we do zoning? That's level.
List. Sure, you want zoning next? Sorry,
Don't be
put it up on the screen. Zoning board, actually, I don't think zoning was approved. Planning board was. I don't have one for zoning.
I had it
Yeah,
highlighted, so we
yeah.
did. Yeah,
Okay.
I highlighted the ones they approved.
Planning and zoning get approved.
I'll have to
usually
get that one. I don't know unless they were on the same sheet. I didn't see one for zoning in that
So the
packet.
total budget request is $404, which is level funded from last year. I mean, if anybody wants to see it, I can pass it around, but.
It looks good.
That one is typically rolled in with planning because even though it is its own,
Yeah, but we always vote on it
Right.
by itself, so I'll make a motion for that.
Second.
Motion, Michelle, second, Kat, to approve the zoning board budget at total of $404. All in favor?
I,
Opposed? None. Zoning is approved.
Was there others that were?
Yes. Debt service is the next one that I was going to bring up. On debt service.
I want to have something for Julie to talk about because she came here just for this meeting tonight. What do you want to talk about, Julie?
she's like, no.
So I have debt service. Really, the only real change on this, obviously, all of these bonds have been on there for a while, and the principal and interest just get updated. There is the new listing before the new bond, Munger property.
That's
Yeah,
part
that's
of
in
the
there.
open space. plan,
And
right?
there's $1 put in there. Maybe the town administrator can remind me what TANS stands for. Is that just in case?
Tax anticipation, no,
Tax
basically,
anticipation, no.
it just means that if we have to take out a loan before we get tax bills,
Correct.
we can pay the interest.
And this gets back to before about the 0 versus 1. By putting that 1 there, we can shift money. The select board
Historically, it
can.
used to be like $50,000, a little bit of a secret spot that
Right.
they kept money. Last year, we cut it down to $1 because we don't ever take out a TAN's notice. Although now that I've said that, we will probably have to this year. I'm sorry.
But if you look, it's a pretty flat, the increase for the year. Because again, as principal and interest payments get adjusted and change over time, you see the effect of that. But the proposed select board amount is $269,261.
Can you just remind again where the Noonie Munger that's in the open space bond line?
I believe it's line 6, row 6,
Okay.
the 24,000. Yeah. Thank you,
So
Julie.
it was,
It went down.
Down.
Oh, that's right. Yep. I remember this.
so it,
And I
It
will
is-
tell you, I did verify, remember I did a presentation of the bond summary for the town. This number, the 269,261, exactly matched that PowerPoint presentation that we had reviewed. Because I had gotten that number, the 24,636 from Andrea at the time.
motion,
Second.
Motion, Michelle, second, Kat, to approve the debt service budget at $269,261. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none. So debt service approved.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yeah, and we could just,
We
we
have
can,
to
end-
leave. That's
we have to leave.
the
So,
other thing coming in.
so really, we can do these rest of the ones next time. They're really quick. And I will work with Letty and whoever to make sure that we get the sheets on the others and make sure that the expectation is given to the other department heads that
So,
haven't done yet.
well, and I have something I can share with you because I've been tracking this myself. So maybe that's all I need to do is
Yeah.
just share this document with you.
And we can do that.
Yeah.
And thank you to both of you, because Letty, I know you're helping bring all this together, but also Jim, like I think Chris, like sending it in an email to all of us is helpful for me at least.
Okay.
Just so
Sure.
that I can make a point of like sitting and reviewing it before this meeting. Just
And again, any of you, if there's something else you want me to provide, let me know. I mean, because you're right, Letty and I share that. We like the details and, all right, so do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion.
And a second.
Second?
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay,
Aye.
aye. Thank you.
Yes.
I'll show you something.
Yes.
You would probably, Jim.
Okay.
You're in the select board.